Okay, I want to just kind of explain how to create compressed images to show on the web. So I'm here in Photoshop and I have an image that is pretty big. So you may be working with source files that you've either downloaded or have just been working in really large formats on your computer. And those images can't really just be saved and put online. They have to be compressed and a lot of times resized. So to do that, we are going to bring up our image information here. So if we go down to image size, we can bring up the image size dialog box. So the image size as it currently stands uncompressed is 171 megabytes. It's 10,000 pixels by 6,000 pixels. This is a completely inappropriate size to put on the internet. So what we can do is make sure that the lock here is connected so that we're not going to be stretching or squashing our image when we reduce this. But I could essentially remove a 1, and now this is 1000 by 600. And we can zoom in here and see that we are essentially sizing down the image when we do that. So 1000 pixels is a bit small. So typically, if it's going to be a full width web image, I would do something like 1200, possibly 2000 pixels wide, which is still a lot, and you may need to go lower depending on the file size limitation. But you can see here that we went from 171 megabytes to 6.8 megabytes. That's a dramatic size difference, and that's before compression, right? So this is going to end up being 2000 by 1200. That's a more reasonable image. So you can save your large image as a source and then always make smaller compressed or cropped images from your large source image. So I'm going to click OK, and now we have a tiny image compared to our original. So I'm going to go ahead and zoom in. And so this is zoomed in a bit too far so you can see pixels. But if we go down to this size, let's take a look at 100%, which is, I believe, where we are. This is the image size on a Retina display, which has high image pixel density. So if you really want to make sure that it can span your entire screen, you can take a look at your own monitor's image resolution, or we can just go ahead and increase this. But for the internet, this image size is fine. So what I'm going to do is then look at exporting. So let's go to File, Export, and then there's a bunch of options, and some are better than others. The easiest option that I've been using for about 20 years is Save for Web. These other ones allow you to do multiple formats at once, which is really great, but this is nice because it's a little less clunky than some of the newer tools, but the newer tools definitely have their place. So let's just take a look here. So the uncompressed image is 6.8 megabytes. The compressed JPEG, it's a little bit lower, quality of 79 here, down to about 3 megabytes. We're going to take that lower. I like to get my images that are online to be a megabyte or lower. You really start hurting people who are on slow internet connections whenever you have image sizes that are too big. So somewhere between 500 and a megabyte, or 500K and 1000K or 1024K a megabyte essentially is really where you want to aim for most things. If it's something where it's a specialized image and you know people are going to have fast internet connections that are going to access it and or maybe download it, you can make it bigger than that. In this case, I'm essentially just going to look at the quality here, and you should notice a difference in quality. Noise texture is a bit hard to actually see a dramatic change, but this looks fine for my purposes. If we go really low, let's say to 0, you can start seeing the artifacting. If I just do Command+, we can see the artifacting is quite bad. So I can actually zoom in and start bringing this up to where the artifacting is minimal and our image size is acceptable. So it looks like for this particular image, quality of 44 might be acceptable. I might be able to take this up to 49 without going over that 1000K threshold that I like to stay in. Now all I have to do is click save, and I'm done. So that's how you would save this image out to your desktop as a compressed JPEG. There are other formats as well. A Ping 8 is a good one, but you have less control over file size. It does restrict the amount of colors whenever you do compression, but this Ping 8 is going to be bigger. So in this case, it's about 2 megabytes. That's too big for you know, the website I want to put this on. You can also do a GIF file, and I tend to not use GIF files as much anymore because I think they've kind of fallen out of favor as a compression format, and they have fewer colors, I think, than the JPEG version, which can get a similar size. So I think JPEG tends to be one of the better compression formats for the web, and Ping 8 is still a great one. And if you need transparency, Ping 24 is what you would use to get transparency. It does look like there's sort of presets here, but web bitmap BMP is another option. I haven't really used that one too much, but the easiest is just kind of adjust the quality slider on JPEG. That's really all you need to do, and click save.